Hi. Hi, YouTube. Hey, biker family. I got my Sturgis shirt on because I went to Sturgis. Yep. We're outside. I just want to come up here and do a little bit of chit-chatting. I'm not going to chew this too long. I don't chew gum too long. I just like the flavor. We outside. I just want to talk about a few things. I ain't about to talk with this gum. Hold on. I'll eat that gum later. Hi. It's your girl HondaHarleyGurl. Well, for starters, I had a great day. My slogan for the day was stay focused and stay ready. Okay, stay focused. And today was really productive, so I think it worked. You know, practicing that mantra. Stay focused. I even texted to a few people. I had a productive day. I had my coffee. I washed clothes. Checks. Ooh. I got one more thing to do. I cleaned my bathroom. I took a bath for the first time in a long time with some Epsom salt. New video today. I have a new video on YouTube. A video with Max, one of my favorite little cousins. All of them are my favorite. But Max actually enjoys the motorcycle life. Well, he loves riding. That video was all about Max earning his ride. So Max rode on my bike last year when I first brought it. And I gave everybody a ride. Everybody got a ride around the block. The block is in the neighborhood. And Max was following me around and asking for another ride, begging for a ride. He was like watching my every move. So I was like, Max, gas ain't free. That really wasn't the issue, but I'm not about to keep driving around this block. The neighborhood gonna get tired of us. But he was so consistent. So I was like, you know what? Pay me for some gas. So Max stayed with money. Max stayed with money. I'll tell you about that. Max paid me $6 for a ride that day. His second ride he paid $6. Now Max, I didn't mind taking it from Max, but Max stayed with money. It was a learning lesson behind him paying me too. You know, we gotta pay for things we want. So he paid me. And when I was home on this motorcycle journey, Max told me that he gets $20 every Sunday. I was like, what you get $20 for? For nothing. He was like, Mr. Etheridge, give me $20 every Sunday. So when I was at home, I went to church. And I got my shirt on backwards. I came through the side door. And I saw Max and Mr. Etheridge. And I saw Mr. Etheridge with his bankroll in his hand, a wad of money. And he peeled out a 20 and gave it to Max. I was like, wow, the kid wasn't lying. I didn't think he was lying because, like I said, Max stays with money at 6 years old, stays with money. So he had told me that the day before. And then on Sunday at church, I actually witnessed him getting his $20 weekly allowance. For nothing. For nothing. I said, what you do with your money? I buy food or sometimes I save it. That's what he told me. So when Max paid me that $6 for that ride, I knew he had it. He's a spoiled little kid, but he's a good kid too. So this go round, of course he wanted to ride the motorcycle. And I had just got there. My bike was super dirty. I was like, well, help me wash my motorcycle. Then I'll take you for a ride. I probably told him that Saturday. And all day Saturday, he was on my case. We go wash the motorcycle. We go do it. I was like, yeah, we go do it. Went to church that Sunday. He in church talking about the motorcycle wash. We got back from church. We were at my grandma's house, which is his aunt. And he like keeping his eye on me, and he making sure I don't take off, I don't leave, and asking me, you know, when we go watch the bike, we're gonna watch the bike. I'm like, yeah, Max, let me just chill out for a little bit. And I got to the point, I was like, you know what, let me go on, knock it out the way before I get too comfortable and drink a little too much. So we watched the bike, and he did a good job. I wanted him to get down low. That's the hardest part about the bike, you know, getting to those low spaces, those small spaces. But he did a good job, and we went for the ride. So I said, I'm gonna give you a good ride this time, like a longer ride, not around the neighborhood block. As soon as he gets on the bike, he's talking about, oh, I think I just want to go around the block now. In my mind, I'm already in riding mode. So, and he was asking me all these questions about the motorcycle, and they were great questions. But it's like, Max, I'm trying to get in my mindset that I'm about to ride, and then I'm about to ride a minor on my motorcycle. That's a whole different mindset. Like, I'm trying to get in my zone. Like, I get in my zone when I get on my bike. Because you got to be super alert and be prepared for anything. So we ride in, take off. We pass by the turn for the block. He was like, we're passing the block. I hit the main street. He was like, ah. He was laughing at some points. And then I took it to the interstate. He was like, are we going on the interstate? And he got a little nervous. So as he was riding on the back, I really couldn't hear him. I heard some stuff, but as I was editing the footage, I heard him talking to himself, or he was really talking to me, but I didn't hear him. He didn't know if he wanted to be happy or nervous. But we did a good ride. It was about 45 minutes. I want to say shout out to Max for not telling anybody that I dropped the bike. So I dropped my bike in that video. I was trying to make a U-turn on the street, and I didn't cut it soon enough. So I went up on the curb, you know, like the curb right before you enter a driveway where your mailbox sit. I went up on the curb, and I lost balance, and we fell over. We didn't it wasn't a hard fall, and the bike honestly didn't even touch the ground. But it was over, and the bike is heavy. I never picked up my motorcycle because every time I have dropped a motorcycle, it's always somebody to my rescue. Always. So I'm like, it's hot outside for one. The bike heavy. And then as I'm editing the footage, I realized when I dropped the bike, it was a car passing by. The car didn't even stop. I was really disappointed in them. You see a kid and one other person on a motorcycle down, you ain't even stop, be like, y'all okay, let me help you. No, I have to tell Max, push the front, the fairing. I'm like, push the front of the bike. So he pushed. He's a big boy for 6, and he was able, his little push helped me get it back up straight. After that, I just need to take a little breather. But yeah, I dropped the bike with Max on it, and he was like, I'm terrified. I was scared too. I was really disappointed in myself that I dropped the bike with a child on the back. Hi, I'm new to your channel. I'm going to subscribe to you. You seem very sweet and beautiful. Well, thank you, Pepper on pause. Yeah, subscribe. Thank you. I love riding. I love bike life. So Max helped me pick up the bike, and then we went back to my grandma's house. So it was a safe and successful trip. But before that before I dropped the bike, he had just said at the gas station, it's going to be kind of safe and fast. And I was like, Max, no, it's going to be all the way safe and a little bit fast. But then he was right. The safety was not there because I dropped the kid on the bike. But he had a good time. And he did not tell anybody. I'm really shocked at that. He didn't tell nobody. I would have heard, somebody would have called me and be like, Max said you dropped the bike or something. He kept it to himself. So nobody know that I dropped the bike until the video came out today. Then I dropped the bike again with my cousin late at night. It's the hills. There's no hills in Florida. I ride on flat land out here in Miami. Flat land. So I get to South Carolina and it's little slopes, little inclines. And that's how I dropped it. The topic of this video is don't disturb my energy. I got a little tested today. I washed clothes today, and I've been like 2 weeks behind, but it didn't take too much energy. And I'm like in preserve mode, because I know I'm about to go back to work. I need to do all my laundry. I need to get my mind right for work next Tuesday. You know, clean up, get it done before the weekend, because I want to have a good weekend this weekend. So washing laundry, not even washing, walking to the laundry room in the complex. It's just on the bottom floor. And this lady, she intersects me. Like, she walked right in front of me, and I got my AirPods in, so you can't hear with those AirPods. Those things are dangerous. And I took one out. I was like, you said something to me? And she was like, you live here? I'm like, yeah. She said, what unit? I said, why you want to know? I said, why are you asking me? She was like, oh, I manage this property, and I need to know everyone out here. I was like, well, what's your name? And she said her name. I didn't even hear, because I kept walking into the laundry room. But my thing is, like, how do you ask somebody where they live? You don't even know me. Like, I feel like her approach was wrong. She didn't have a smile on her face. It was like, you live here? It was real rude. And she was trying to disturb my energy, but I didn't let her. I walked on in the laundry room, loaded up my clothes, and I walked back out. And she was still in the closet that she went into. And you can hear a little bit with the AirPods. And she was yelling something, but I just kept walking. So I covered up Chris' bike because it started to rain. I think she was behind me. I didn't even look back. I didn't even acknowledge her. And I covered up the bike, and I think she kind of like let me go, because I think everybody knows that those bikes over there is us. So that's maybe she knows where I live at now. But you don't just approach people, be like, do you live here? And which apartment? Like, it's just the approach was the issue for me. And I've been listening to Eminem all day. I just knew I had a lot to do, and I was just trying to preserve my energy throughout the whole day. I said, don't say nothing to her, just ignore her. That was my technique. So just ignore, because I didn't want my moods to get disturbed. I didn't want to get slick out the mouth and say something smart to her. Older lady. All the older people in here are super nosy. Just typical old people stuff. Just nosy and messy. Old people messy. Very messy. So I was like, nah, my energy will not be disturbed today. Not today. It just wasn't worth my energy. You go, girls. Don't let rude people be rude to you when they're exactly. It could have been like, hey, I'm such and such. Who are you? It wasn't none of that. So I'm like, ugh. But after I let it go, I was the bigger person. I ignored her, kept on my day, and today has been such a good day. I'm so excited about my video with Max. I think I did a great job on the thumbnail. I'm getting so much better with the thumbnails. So if you haven't watched the video with Max, watch it. If you have children or grandchildren, give them a ride. The kids love the motorcycle, even if it's just a circle around the block. I think Max may really be a biker one day. He's really into it. That was like his third ride with me. I also want to talk about my video about the 4 reasons why I quit my motorcycle club. Really a riding club. So I didn't expect that video to do so well. It's doing very well. I love how all y'all are relating. You are letting me know your own experience. It just makes me feel good that I'm not the only one that went through that in a club. Clubs aren't for me. I've been approached a lot by clubs, MC clubs, and I'm like, nah, I don't like the club life. You know, it's certain requirements, certain rides you have to do. When I hang out with the MC life, it's just a little too strict for me. Short story. we was at a 1% Clubhouse, right? And this is when I was in the club. Matter of fact, we had our cuts on. Chris is like my bestie. He's really my roommate, but he's my bestie. So me and Chris was in the clubhouse at the 1% Clubhouse, and our whole club was supposed to be there. President didn't show up, and then 2 of the other members, they showed up, but they kept it pushing. We literally saw them drive by. They didn't like a particular.
Well, you ready?
Yes, so how you doing?
Good. Can you turn your TV off for me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
The reason that the slaves performed was because they feared.
You turn it down or on?
My Apple Watch, man, technology is a beast. So I was trying to clean my watch, and I hit the play button, and YouTube started playing in the background. I was like, what? Okay. So me and Chris at this 1% Clubhouse. And this is just how petty clubs are. I think it's petty. Whatever. A rule is a rule. Y'all live how y'all want to live. So we in there, and Chris smoked cigarettes. And Chris asked somebody for a lighter. Y'all know they said that was disrespectful. It got back to the president. Chris like asked one of the club members for a lighter for his cigarette, and he got talked to that night. I didn't even know that happened. I was like maybe by the bar or something, but they kind of like reprimanded him for asking for a lighter, and it kind of messed up his mood. We didn't stay long after that. But our brothers, our sisters, our club members were supposed to be there with us. And like all that type of stuff. I don't feel like I don't like the fact that you need a bunch of people with you to feel safe at somebody else's clubhouse. I don't like that. So yeah, that's how petty. Like asking somebody for a lighter can get you in trouble. But yeah, that video's doing very well. The club I was in, they did not like it. They didn't like it. I'm having dinner, and this goes along with this topic. Don't disturb my energy. I'm having dinner, about to get all into it. My phone ring. I'm like, oh, this person never really calls me unless it's some foolishness, right? So they called me. I didn't answer. Then boom, the text messages started rolling in, and they didn't like the video. Long story short. They say I'm clout chasing, I'm bringing up the past, I'm affecting people's family. I didn't say nobody's name. I clearly said off the rip, I'm not going to say the name of the club. I'm not going to say any names. But if you live in South Florida, you live in Miami, you know who I'm talking about. It's not hard to figure out. I agree with that. But it's my story. It's my perspective. It's what I went through. And I don't feel nothing about it, to be honest. That was a few days ago, so we all still living, so we good. I lost a friend, and that's okay. So, but back to the good side of that video, a lot of people have been responding saying, I used to be in a club, or I know what you're talking about. I experienced that as well, and I really appreciate that type of feedback about it. Even some people were like, well, maybe you were in the wrong club, or blah, blah, blah. You know, they were opposing what I was saying. I'm like, yeah, you're right. That could be true, too. And that is true, because it wasn't for me. So that video is doing very well. I'm happy I shared it. It was just a topic I always wanted to share. I just never got around to share it. So as I'm going on my motorcycle journey for long hours, I have nothing but time. So I decided to talk about it as I was riding through St. Augustine, Florida. So it's in my video presenting my solo trip video. And then I just edited into its own video as well. But I finally had the time to talk about it. That's why I'm just now sharing my experience. I left the club last year. And I can talk about it anytime I want to talk about it. We in the USA, freedom of speech. So, yeah, they'll be all right. They'll be all right. They will definitely be all right. What else? Yeah, I got a lot of editing to do. My next video will be my trip to Charleston, South Carolina. So I'm from South Carolina. I'm from Columbia, the capital. But after I left Columbia with my family, I went to Charleston, South Carolina. And out there, I did a horse carriage ride. I always wanted to do one of those. I did it. It was like 50 bucks. You had a tour guide. He gave you history about the city of Charleston. It was a really nice ride. I was expecting a little bit more, I guess, honestly, a little bit more black history. A little bit more history about, like, how Charleston was a slave port. But I guess I got to open up a book and learn about that. But I did learn a lot about Charleston and all the battles they had there and all the famous people and, you know, the reason why the houses the way they are. So that's going to be a good video that I'm working on right now. I am going to share it tomorrow. My camera keeps slipping. Then I walked around Charleston. Charleston, South Carolina is still a southern state. So in South Carolina, the liquor store closed at 7. Banks closed at 5. I remember as a kid, Walmart used to have this, I think it's called like the blue light law or something like that. But when you go on Walmart Supercenter, you could only go on the grocery side. You couldn't go to the other side of the store until after like 1 p.m. So they got like real southern laws like that. I mean, that law doesn't exist anymore. They also have a law where you can go to the Capitol steps and beat your wife. I want to say that law is still in effect. Don't quote me. But that was a law in South Carolina. So my whole point is that South Carolina is a real southern state. And Charleston, everything closed at 5. So the market closed at 5. The horse carriage ride, the last ride was at 5. I was able to see a little bit of the market, but I didn't find what I was looking for. I was looking for some okra chips. So if y'all ever in Charleston, or I don't know if you know about okra chips, they're really good. It's kind of like dried okra, the whole piece of okra, and they're really good. I was looking for that, but everybody was closed or either shutting down. So I did my horse carriage ride. Then I just walked the streets a little bit. I met some interesting people. I went inside this store. It had a whole bunch of lights from Istanbul, Turkey. I met the owner of the store. I met one of the employees, and they were just giving me a lot of good information about their product. Beautiful product, expensive too. They were trying to sell me a blanket. They were saying that the blanket, it doesn't absorb sand. So it's like, oh, you can take this blanket to the beach and shake it right off and you won't carry a bunch of sand. I was like, oh, that's nice. That's good. That's really cool. It felt good. But my load was so heavy I couldn't even put a seed on my bike. I didn't need anything else on my bike. But I learned a lot in there. I went to the candy store, the Fudgery, and got a piece of praline. So as soon as I brought my praline, leave out the store, walking down the street, I ran into another candy store, and they had praline, but they had free samples. So I took a free sample, and their praline was so much better. I was like, next time I know. Because when you buy praline, they weigh it. So I couldn't buy another piece. And praline is nothing but sugar and butter, and something I don't need. So I was stuck with what I brought already. Took some pictures. Oh, and I got some mural pics in Charleston. So hi, Truey, Motos, Tori or Truey. So yeah, Charleston was cool. I got some cool mural pictures out there. I got an unexpected picture of one. Oh, it was a comedian. He died. I forget his name. Oh, Richard Pryor. That's who it was. Had a nice, beautiful mural of him. And as I'm driving away from Charleston, Oh, what's okay? Live from Brazil. I never been to Brazil. Como estás, Junior? I thought about going to. As I'm driving away, I was like, oh, I should have went to the Mother Bethel AME church. So a little backstory about that. Mother Bethel is AME, African Methodist Episcopal Church. So I grew up in the AME church and still go to one. And that's the church where they had that mass shooting where Dylan Roof came through during Bible study. He attended the Bible study, and at the end of the Bible study, he pulled out a gun and killed people. So, a great tragedy. Like, that tragedy broke my heart, because I've been to that church before, and I had, the first time I ever had baked lasagna was in that church, Mother Bethel. So, as I'm driving away, I was like, oh, I should have went there and took a picture with Mother Bethel. But it was too late. I was too far ahead, heading towards 95. So I was like, next time. So that was Charleston. I didn't leave Charleston until 6 p.m. And I had to travel to Virginia at night. And I'm going to stop right there with that story. So I'm going to share the Charleston video tomorrow. And sadly, my vacation is up. So I was able to do all of this riding and self-care and get back to my YouTube channel because I've been off work for, for 5 weeks. Yeah, 5 weeks off of work. I've been off work 5 weeks and it's coming to an end. I go back to work next week. It's been a good 5 weeks. I feel like I'm a new person. I must say that. I'm a new person. I've learned a lot. I met a lot of people. Well, really, I feel like I'm a new person every day. Every day we wake up, we got a new clock, a new set of 24 hours to do what we must do to be our best version of ourselves. So I try to keep that in my mind. Like, if I'm mad about something today, I'm not going to carry it over till tomorrow. That's just too much energy. That means you slept on that. And you woke up on it too. So I try not to carry burdens into the next day. But of course, we're human. And, you know, we got emotions and feelings. But I'm mentally preparing for back to work. But I really have to edit. I have to edit these videos to show y'all my journey because I had a good time and I got some good footage of some of the people I met. I met a state trooper. I met some people that gave me some good jewels about life. I met people that were in a U-Haul moving from state to state. I learned how to put air in my tire. Who knew that putting air in a tire would be so difficult, man? It's so difficult. Shout out to all the mechanics and all the handy people, because I'm not one of them. Every time I put air in my tire, I was at a Pilot travel stop. I like the Pilot. I'm Pilot over Loves. Now, Loves is nice. Loves is a little bit newer, but it's something about the Pilot that I vibe with the Pilot a little bit more than Loves travel stop. Now, the Love's travel stop came in handy when I had to take a nap under their tree. So, shout out to Love's too. But I still like the Pilot a little bit better. One thing I noticed about those travel stops, though, they're super expensive. I mean, everything is way taxed. Their tobacco is cheaper. But snacks and coffee is way more expensive. But I wasn't buying anything because I stayed prepared. I brought my own stuff with me. Y'all saw me eat my egg and my cucumbers because I had already boiled the egg earlier that week. I needed to eat it, and the cucumbers I had, and I didn't want them to go bad. So I was like, you know what? Let's chop this up, put it in some vinegar, and take it on the road. So that's what I ate. And then I try not to eat too much on a road trip. That was another thing about the club, like riding to eat. You know, once you eat, you get drowsy, and once you eat, you know, you may have a bowel movement, and nobody wants to be shitting on the road. Nobody. If you got to, you got to, but the less food, the better. And then when you don't eat, you got more clarity. And you need all the clarity in the world when you're out here riding. All the clarity. All the clarity. Because I almost got ran off the road. That only happened one time, though. So my trip was really successful. No speeding ticket. I met great people. No issues with my motorcycle. So, I mean, that's a great trip right there. That's enough. That was a great trip. And I made it back. I made it there and back safely. And I didn't tell nobody. I told people I was going on it, but I didn't tell my mama and my daddy I was going on it because I didn't need anybody opposing my plans. I didn't want nobody to be like, oh, you crazy. Don't do that. Da, 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 da. I didn't want to hear that. So I had told them, I'm going to come visit y'all. They probably thought I was going to take a flight. But, yeah, I took a flight, all right. A flight on 2 wheels. I took a flight on 2 wheels. That's how I got there. My daddy is in the video. The video where the thumbnail says road trip. He's at the very end. He didn't want to be on camera too much. He's funny. And then I have a video with my mom. My mom got on the bike, y'all. So that's going to be a cool video as well. I would have never thought she would have got on it. I told her I need to go to DC and I need to go to Maryland to get some mural pics. And I was like, you can take off? But long story short, she didn't take off. We just went after she got off work. And the whole time I was telling her what I needed to do, and I was like talking as I was including her in the plans. I never said, hey, you want to go with me to do this? And she just hopped on the bike. She was on live. She was taking videos. She was vibing to the music. I mean, she was requesting songs. So she had a good time on the bike. And on the way back, she fell asleep on the bike. Miss Queen Safety got on the motorcycle and fell asleep on the back. That's how I know people trust me. People trust me to ride their kids and to ride them. That's a lot of trust. Honestly, I don't ride on the back. I don't ride bitch. It's called riding bitch when you ride on the back of someone's motorcycle. I don't do it. I will say, within the last couple weeks, the slogan, don't trust nobody, has been really growing on me. I'm kind of like, oh, you trust people until they give you a reason not to trust them. But here lately, I've been getting this vibe. Nah, don't trust nobody. Not even the person you laying next to. Now, you trust to an extent. You got to have trust in a relationship, you know. All relationships. But still, it's the things I've been experiencing. It's like, don't put too much trust in folks. But people trust me on the back of that motorcycle. I don't know how they do it because I ride pretty hard. But when I got people on the back, I kind of take it easy. I don't want to scare people away from motorcycle life. I want them to have a good experience and be smiling by the time they get off. And then we don't want to get hurt. We don't want to get into an accident. I feel like that's how most accidents occur, by going too fast. I know. I know. Quick story. I came to Miami for college, and at my college, it was another motorcyclist, biker, and he rode it was like a lime green Kawasaki, a sports bike. And just sharing stories, he had told me that he ran into the back of a car. And I was like, that's crazy. How you do that? I just thought that was just weird, and I thought it was stupid. Let's be honest. I thought that was stupid. 2 years ago, I did the same thing. Like, right up the street. I ran into the back of a car. Going too fast. That was the moral of the story. I got a ticket. It was my fault. I ran into the back of an SUV, and I was on my Dyna then. It messed up like the front fender and maybe like the clutch. Not the clutch, the gear shifter. But yeah, I ran into the back of a SUV. It left a little dent, and it left a dent in my face. Yeah, I was all swollen up. I couldn't even use my wrists. My hands were so swollen. I remember my good friend Vanessa. Shout out to Vanessa. She came over and like helped me prepare some food. I couldn't even use a knife. Like my wrists were so messed up, and they still ache to this day. My knee was messed up, and I got this dent on the side of my face. It's not really a dimple, it's a dent. Yep, that all this from a motorcycle accident. Ooh, not that one. Ooh. This scar right here, that happened in South Carolina. That happened when I used to not wear gear. Now, I really don't wear a helmet when I'm in town. Honestly, I don't wear a helmet too much because it's just too hot out here. Like, I have my fan going on as I'm sitting on the balcony. Because South Florida, Miami is just too hot. And the temperature is high and the humidity is high. So this scar came from in South Carolina, riding with no gear. I remember the outfit. I had on shorts and like a white cute top and probably had on some sneakers. And we were coming from the Love Doctors MC, the one that's out there in the country. I forget the city is in, but it was coming from the Love Doctors Motorcycle Club event. And Alvin, the man, he turns into a parking lot, all quick, unannounced, wasn't even a part of the plan. Me as a new rider, I'm trying to keep up. I turned too, but I turned too fast. I wasn't ready to turn, and it was gravel at the bottom of the driveway, the bottom of the entry of the driveway parking lot. It was gravel, and I turned too quick, and I just slid. And that's how I got these injuries. And Alvin was upset because the bike was messed up. The bike had a couple dings and messed up my signal light. He more concerned about the bike than me. Biker friends, right? So yeah, that was my first time I laid the bike down. People stopped in. They helped him pick up the bike. They was like, should we call 911? I was like, no. I ain't gonna tell y'all why I didn't want them to call 911, but I was like, nah. So we picked the bike up, and I rode hard home. I rode so hard all the way back home. I was like maybe 40 minutes away from home. It like motivated me. I'm like, oh, you go buck me like that, motorcycle? The motorcycle will buck you. It was like a horse, exactly. Not a hog, it was a horse. That motorcycle bucked me and scared me up. I rode hard all the way home. I was riding hard. Like, I was like, nah, you're not about to defeat me. I know some people go down and they never want to get back on two wheels. But I've been down quite a few times. It's a part of the game. What goes up must come down. I feel like it's just part of the biker experience. You go lay the bike down, and hopefully you don't lay it down hard or it ends in a fatality. But I think we all have laid the bike down before. It's just part of the experience. It's part of learning. I used to do interviews. I used to interview bikers, and I really want to get back into it. And I remember one guy saying, don't get too comfortable. And that sticks to me today. Like, I hear his voice. When people say something to me and it resonates with me, like, I internalize it and I can hear their voice. But that's what he said. It's on one of the videos. Maybe I'll recycle that and repost it again. But yeah, don't get too comfortable on two wheels. You can never be too comfortable on doing anything. It's been times where I got too comfortable, but you don't want to get too comfortable because you got to expect the unexpected. You got to drive for other people. I've been teaching my little sister some tips and techniques because she want to learn how to ride. My parents find that out, they ain't gonna be happy, but she's about to be 21 and she can make her own decisions. I'm like, yeah, I can show you a little bit, but I definitely want you to take the class. She wants to buy my other bike. Yeah, it's kind of hard accepting that somebody rides two wheels because it can be dangerous. But you just gotta stay alert. You have to stay alert. Keep your head on a swivel. I learned that in the class. Keep your head on a swivel. Look out for others. I predict people moves. I watch people. I see you texting, I get away from you. I see you don't use your signal light, I watch you very closely. But honestly, I keep a lot of space. Like, I don't like a bunch of traffic. I get ahead of the traffic and I make sure I stay in a spot where it's not too much traffic in front of me and it's not a bunch of traffic approaching me from the back. And I think I have a video talking about this. I ain't gonna tell it all, but riding the left lane. I think I was told that the left lane is best for bikers. I need to actually research that. But I was testing that out on my journey. I stayed in the left lane. But just quickly, like, because if you are in the right lane, the slow lane, you're going to keep approaching traffic in front of you, and then you got to get over, and then you got to get back over. And, I mean, that'll keep you alert because you're always, like, on the move. But it's just too much. I don't like nobody behind me too close, and I don't like to be too close on someone's bumper. It can get dangerous. Let me plug my light up. So I think the left lane, I think that is true. I think that's the best lane for riders. Oh, shoot, I know what's going on. I think the left lane, ooh, the mosquitoes starting to bite you, girl. The mosquitoes are vicious. Got me itching. I showered too. It's not that I'm dirty. It's just, it's getting dark and the mosquitoes are coming out. 1 second. Yeah, I think the left lane is the safest lane. I think Pilot is the best travel stop. Got everything you need. And I like the cherry scrub soap they have in there. But lately, I haven't been seeing it in the women's bathroom. So Pilot, y'all need to do better. Make sure y'all have that. 1, 2, 3. I have 4 bites on my arm from mosquitoes. Pilot needs to make sure they have that cherry hand scrub in the bathroom because I love that stuff. So maybe that's why I like the Pilot a little bit better. But also the Pilot, shout out to that cashier. When I was struggling with that air pump the second time, he came outside and did it for me. So shout out to him too. Yeah, gotta love the Pilot. Gotta love the Pilot. The left lane, I don't know if y'all know, but I think the left lane is probably the safest lane. You got I'm losing my terms right now. What do you call the side of the road? That side area. You can, if you need to escape, you can take that side area, or you got 2 more lanes to your right. So I think the left lane is the best lane while riding on 2 wheels. But yeah, y'all check out the video with Max. Chris gave me a good idea for a Christmas gift, but we'll see how it go. I didn't learn how to ride a motorcycle so young, so I don't know. I don't want to turn anybody into a bike lover and then something happens. I think that's one of my biggest concerns. Not really a fear, like even with my little sister. I'm like, oh yeah, I should teach you because, you know, you my sister. I want you to have the best experience. But also I don't want to feel like, oh, I already know what it's gonna be. Kira turned you into wanting to ride, which is true. So it's already true. So I gotta, might as well help the person out, right? Might as well give her some tips to make her the best rider she can be. But I know that's what my mom and dad would say. Oh, I turned her into a biker. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a biker. Nothing wrong. People love motorcycles, and then people are very fearful of motorcycles. You always get that one person that's so fearful. They try to put their fear on you. They be like, "Oh, I had a friend or my cousin or somebody that they know that got into a motorcycle accident and died." That happened to me when I was home. A family friend told me that. Her story was, oh, I had a friend and we tried to take her keys away, but she insists on riding her bike home, and she got into an accident and she lost her leg. I like, thank you for the information. I'm not laughing at that. What happened to the lady, God bless, I hope she's doing well. But it's like, I get it. You telling me to be careful. Absolutely. Don't drive drunk. Absolutely. That's even with a car though. When people do that to me, I'd be like, same thing with a car. Car accidents happen probably every second at this point in time. But I get it. Be safe on two wheels. I agree. Be safe, y'all. Be safe, and y'all make sure y'all check out my content. I hope that you all are enjoying it. I put a lot of time into editing, but I am learning to appreciate the process. Everything's a process. The Max video, he definitely earned his motorcycle ride. Shout out to Max. Yeah, Mac, you a real one, because I dropped that bike on you and you helped me push that bad boy up. He helped me. That 6-year-old helped me push the bike up when I dropped it. Check out the video if you haven't seen it on YouTube. 6-year-old cousin earned his motorcycle ride. My other content, why I left the motorcycle club. It's my story. I'm sticking to it. I know some people are not really happy that I shared that, but I didn't. What else I put out? My road trip experience. I'm going to keep sharing content about my whole journey until I ain't got no more content. And we're going to continue to make more content because I love riding. I ride every day. I'm supposed to be at the gym at Zumba, but I don't think I'm going to go today. That video. And tomorrow I'll share with y'all Charleston, South Carolina. My ride to Charleston, South Carolina. Very beautiful, historic city. We'll get into that. So I've been up here for quite a while now. I just want to say I love y'all. I hope y'all out there riding your twos. Get on your motorcycle. Do you see my lips? Do you see my mouth? Ride your motorcycle. It's riding season everywhere in the world. Maybe. It's riding season in the States. We're in May. Y'all, May is almost over. Stay focused. That was my mantra for today. Stay focused and stay ready. Especially when you on twos. Stay focused and stay ready. Ride your bike. And get out there. You're going to meet somebody new. You're going to meet somebody. I hear that a lot too. Oh, I stopped riding because I ain't had nobody to ride with. All you had to do was ride. You would have ran into somebody. Quick story and I'm out of here. I met another great biker friend just by riding. I was just riding that day. And I made a stop at the racetrack. And that's how I met Scott. Scott was pumping his gas and he was talking about my bike. And he was telling me he just brought a bike. He was like, oh, I live around the corner. I'm about to go get my bike. We exchanged contacts. And Scott, like within 20 minutes, he dropped off his truck and got his motorcycle. And we met back up and we rode out. We went to Wynwood. We went to Miami Beach. Scott, I miss you. I gotta hit up Scott. That just reminded me. So yeah, you don't need to ride with somebody. Like, start the process yourself. Start the ride yourself. You're gonna run into somebody. LJ, I met LJ like that. Go to your local Harley dealership. They always having events. At least the ones in South Florida. That's how I met a lot of people too, at the Harley Davidson dealership. But you don't need nobody to ride with. You're gonna find somebody to ride with. You're going to. The first time I ever drove my Dyna from South Carolina to Miami, I asked the biker, "Can I link up with him?" It was raining so bad, y'all, and it wasn't gonna stop. It was a thunderstorm. And I met him at one of the gas stations, and I was like, "Where you headed to?" He said he was heading to Melbourne, Florida, which is maybe like a couple hours from Miami. I was like, "Can I tag along with you?" He was like, "Yeah." We did it. We tagged along. It rained on us the whole time. Like, we had to make a stop because it was raining so bad. A second stop. We took off our boots, and you could literally pour water out your boots. That's how bad it was raining. I think I have a video about that too. But my whole purpose is, you don't need nobody to start your ride. Just get out there, start riding, and you go run into another biker, and life is great. So stay focused, stay ready, and enjoy the ride, y'all. I done talk too much, so I love y'all. Check out my content. Leave me some comments. Let me know what's up. Let me know what you like, what you don't like, or what you would like for me to share with you all. HondaHarleyGurl out.